So are you just going to do that the whole time I do this? Hey everyone, Zian over here from Nintendo Life. Last week, Sega aired a presentation. It was kind of like a direct, but it was called Sonic Central. And they showed off a ton of new Sonic stuff, tons of collaborations with some of their other games. They revealed Sonic Colors is coming to new consoles, and they showed off some new Sonic game, which a lot of people, including myself, were thinking was called Zap. But beyond a small little sort of cutscene teaser trailer, we didn't even get an official name for the game. It was nice that they announced something new, but it felt really strange at the fact that we have no idea what this game is even called. We don't know anything about it. But then later that day, we reported that a leaked version of the new Sonic teaser was released, and within the code of it, which I'm not really sure how somebody found that, but within the code is the word Rangers Teaser, leading people to believe that maybe the game is going to be called Sonic Rangers. And then there was also a post over on 4chan by an anonymous user. This was in January of this year, stating a ton of information about the game, saying that it might be a 3D open world game with all sorts of different elements. And a lot of us, when we were watching the Sonic Central trailer, were hoping that, you know, a lot of us have been begging for a new Sonic adventure game for a long time now. It's been over 20 years since the original came out on Dreamcast, and it's insane to think about it, but we don't even have the first and second games on the Switch either. They're on, it feels like every other platform at this point, but we can still not play them on Switch, which is so strange to me. But after the kind of train wreck that Sonic Forces was, a lot of us are hoping that Sega's really just gonna batten down the hatches and get serious about making a brand new Sonic game that we're all going to actually have fun with. So all this talk about Sonic and just all the thought about it made me want to sit back down and play Sonic Adventure. So it was either Saturday or Sunday, I can't even remember anymore. I sat down for the night and I played Sonic Adventure on my Dreamcast. And I've always had a sweet spot for this series in particular. My family had a Dreamcast growing up and I didn't get to play it very often, but we did have Sonic Adventure. And before that, we had the Generator demo disc, I think, that came with the Dreamcast. And it had the opening level with Emerald Coast, where Sonic is running across the ocean basically with a whale jumping up in the background. It was insane at the time. Nostalgia plays a big role in why I actually like this series a lot, but I know a lot of people also don't really enjoy it, because for all of the things that it does well, it has a lot of hiccups too. So I sat down and I wanted to see, you know, like if this was actually still the game that I always remembered it as. And yeah, it actually is. The physics system is a ton of fun. John has already talked about this on the channel before, but you can basically use different ramps and the spin dash to propel yourself over into areas that it looks like you aren't supposed to go. And sometimes you'll be rewarded with it, or you'll just be able to beat a level faster than you would have before. But it's a lot of fun to actually play around with the game's mechanics and see what you can and can't achieve. It's not as sharp as something like Super Mario 64 or Odyssey, but there's still a lot of fun you can have with it. And the game makes you feel like you're still in control of your speed as well. Like when you're in Emerald Coast, or you're in the wind level, or really any of the levels where you're just dashing as fast as possible and going through loop-to-loops, and maybe there's a level where the wind carries you all around and you have no idea what you're doing, but you're still holding the analog stick in a certain direction in hopes that you won't go flying off the edge. The game still makes it feel like you're in control of all of it, and it feels good. It doesn't feel like you're always just on rails, because you still can slip and fall. Not as bad as you can in something in like Sonic 06, thankfully. So after I played a chunk of Sonic Adventure, I went back and I wanted to read up on what this 4chan post exactly said about Sonic Rangers, because I read it the other day when we first learned about it, but I didn't really give it too much attention because there was a lot going on that day, like a lot. And I realized something while reading this. There's a lot of things in here that make it sound like this could be an evolution of the Sonic Adventure series. Sega would probably love to make Sonic Adventure 3. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't work there. I don't know. Please, Sega, tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. The time maybe has potentially passed for that to happen. So maybe this Sonic Rangers game, or Sonic Zap, or whatever it's going to be called, is just going to take some of the things that we loved from these games and just evolve them, give us them in a new fashion to sort of modernize them, I suppose. So let's read this 4chan post. So like I said, somebody back in January posted anonymously on 4chan that there was going to be a new Sonic game coming out by Sonic Team, which is important because that's the same team that made the Adventure series, and it was going to be called Sonic Rangers. This person apparently did a focus test. By the way, we should mention this is a rumor. This is not factual. There's no evidence. There's no gameplay footage. There's no images, nothing at all. It's all just an anonymous post on 4chan. Take it for what it is. They said that there is going to be an open world that's populated with small enemies, puzzles, and platforming challenges. Now, that right off the bat, Sonic Adventure does have a somewhat open world. There's an overworld that you use to actually get yourself from different levels, unlike in Sonic Adventure 2, where you just have a level select screen and there's a map that sort of connects all these levels together. In Sonic Adventure 1, you have, I think they call it the adventure stages, I think is what the different areas called. There's Station Square, there's the Mystic Ruins, there's the jungle as well. There's, I can't remember what Dr. Robotnik's, the egg carrier. That's what it's called. There's all these different parts of the world. And so you do have this element where you actually get to roam around and you have some puzzles that you have to interact with. Like in a few parts of Sonic Adventure, you have to pick up items and use them as keys to open doors. And the game spells it out for you very easily how you actually open these doors and where you find the keys. But there are some puzzles, and I don't really think there's many platforming challenges in that regard. There are some where you'll see like little emblems hiding off in the distance, and you might have to spin dash up on, like, when I was playing earlier today, I was playing on the Steam version, so that way I could capture gameplay to show you. I found out that you can spin dash up the stairs by Tails' house. You can get on Tails' house, and then you can spin dash again on this like little ramp that leads up onto this watchtower. You can spin dash off of it, and you can jump and hurl yourself over to this emblem. And I always thought that the only way to get that was with like Knuckles or Tails. And it was so cool to learn that you could actually do that with Sonic instead. So there are some platforming challenges in Sonic Adventure as well. So it's cool to hear that potentially this Rangers might have some elements like that too. So the second note says completing puzzles, challenges, and defeating enemies rewards EXP, which can be redeemed in a skill tree. The skill tree unlocks abilities like the spin cycle, where when you hold Y, Sonic starts tracing a line behind him, and if you finish a circle, it attacks all enemies inside the circle. So now a skill tree, that sounds pretty insane in a Sonic game as well, but Sonic Adventure did a lot of weird stuff in comparison to the other series as well. And in Sonic Adventure, you get the shoes that allow you to do the light speed dash. There's also a ring that Sonic gets that just allows him to light speed dash faster. Knuckles gets a pair of gloves at some point that I can't remember if it lets him dig underground deeper or if it just lets them dig underground in general. I can't remember, it's been so long. Tails also gets a pair of like boosters for the back of his shoes that let him fly faster. And then there's also the rhythm badge, which I believe that just lets him do, I'm not sure if it lets him attack faster or if he does a spin, but it looks really cool. So maybe Sonic Team has just figured out a way to add more effects and different things to the cast of characters that are going to be in this game. If there's even going to be more, we don't know. It could just be Sonic, but maybe they'll just sort of kind of lock some of these abilities like Sonic had in these games behind a skill tree instead. They also state that the lock-on attack is going to return, and that's nice. That's a great feature. I love that. They also say that there are bosses spread around the open world, and that doesn't sound that crazy either, because in Sonic Adventure, I'm pretty sure all of the bosses that you defeat are actually located within the open world that you play in. And it's called the Adventure Field. That's what it is, Adventure Field. Like, most of the forms of chaos that you fight are just straight up in either on the egg carrier or in the water in the Mystic Ruins or in the hotel. You know, they're scattered all over the place. So that's not that outlandish either. And defeating them apparently grants orbs. And if you collect enough of these orbs, you get to go to a portal and you go to, in quotes, they said cyberspace. Now this is where it gets really cool. So cyberspace levels are Sonic Generations style levels, and the music goes hard. And so I'm not sure if what this means potentially is that Sonic can travel through time, or what this cyberspace exactly is. Maybe it's traveling to different dimensions where things are different, you know, and that it's not like we've never seen time travel in a Sonic game before. We've seen that in Sonic Generations. Sonic CD is all about time travel. And it does make sense that Sega would want to sort of tap back into their classic levels again. Sonic Generations is regarded one of the best Sonic games out there. And I feel like it's only a matter of time before that game gets the remake treatment now as well, now that Sonic Colors is. But the thing that relates all this to Sonic Adventure potentially as well is they said that the music goes hard. Are they trying to say that it's potentially heavy, or that there's some like guitar elements in it? Like what does the word hard mean? And for me, what I thought was, I'm gonna butcher his name, but Jun Sonoe, I believe, the composer, he worked on a lot of the music for Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 and some of the other Sonic games over the years as well. He plays guitar and like writes a lot of like crazy sweeps and heavy riffs for those games. And so I wonder if he's coming back to do music for this game, because he still works with Sega, or I don't think he works officially at Sega, but he's done some stuff on, I think I looked up, it was like Puyo Puyo Champions he did the main theme for, and that is straight up, it sounds like something out of Sonic Adventure. It's great. I think he did some stuff for Team Sonic Racing as well, but it'd be nice to see him working on a mainline Sonic Adventure game, because I've listened to some of the soundtrack of Sonic Lost Worlds and some of the other Sonic games, Forces, and it just isn't the same. Now, this user also states that if you beat these generation style levels fast enough, it'll unlock Chaos Emeralds for you. And that's kind of a nice throwback to the secret levels that you would find in classic Sonic games, if that's actually the case. And I dig that. And now that I was playing Sonic Adventure again, I feel like it's kind of wonky how you'll just finish a level and you'll just find a Chaos Emerald at the end of it. Like that doesn't really, well, like why are those not guarded? Why are Sonic and Tails just able to go find all of these? Like they just know where all of them are. And then Robotnik just manages to steal all of them. Just easy peasy, no big deal. I understand that's the way that the story was built, was around the Chaos Emeralds. That's the point. But it'll be cool to see the Chaos Emeralds still incorporated, but in a way that just makes sense for Sonic lore. Now, the thing that worries me is that they also stated that exploration and combat was super boring, very button mashy, but whatever. Now, a lot of Sonic games are button mashy just because you're jumping a lot, but if this game has a new focus on combat, I could see that being a little wonky. From what I remember, Sonic Heroes had kind of a big focus on just combat and just like giving you waves of enemies to fight. And I didn't really enjoy that game as much. It's been years since I've played it, so I really need to take another look at it before I talk about it too much. But I wonder if it's going to handle combat like that, or they're going to try to, tackle it from like a werehog side of view, or, is this game really going to try to be Breath of the Wild? How far in development was this? Because then at the bottom here, they also stated the game is definitely still very early on in development, but it was rough. Not a fun time from what I played. And that stings, especially from somebody who had the ability to come in on Reddit here and say something about the game. Like they're probably a Sonic fan, especially if they know they have the ability to state the fact that there are generation style levels. They sound like they know what they're talking about. If this is real, we have no idea. And then they also state that there's new voice acting by Roger and no one else was present, so they're definitely sticking to the general theme at least. They also go on to talk about some of the final boss stuff. They think it's the final boss as well. I'm not going to talk about that as just because if that is final boss stuff, I don't want to talk, I don't want to spoil anything potentially. It's also weird that Sega would show off a final boss for a game in a test group. I feel like they wouldn't do that. So maybe potentially this final boss is not the final boss. Who knows? But if you want to look into it more, you can go check out. We shared the image with all of the text over in the article, which I'll leave a link in the description too down below if you want to go check that out for yourself. But it is really upsetting to hear that, whoever potentially played this game early, if that's even the case, didn't have a good time. It's also strange, though, that somebody would have potentially played this game in a playtest group, and Sega still hasn't shown us anything, but they showed us a preview trailer, but no actual game. But what I'm hopeful for is that this game, Sonic Zap, Sonic Rangers, Sonic Adventure 3, whatever it ends up being, is slated for the year 2022, so next year. So we still have plenty of time for Sega to hit the ground running and get some stuff done to make this game something that we want to remember forever. Something that future kids can eventually play and have a great time with and look back on and still enjoy it, So looking at that, what I'm really hoping is that this new Sonic game gives us if it's going to give us a sandbox, it could feel a lot like it does in Sonic Adventure. It's a ton of fun to just run around the Mystic Ruins or Station Square. And I love the way that the lighting effects can change depending on what time of day the game decides it's going to be. Early on in the game, there's a point where you take the train in Station Square and you go to the Mystic Ruins and you go fight a boss and you come back through, and I think it's right before you go to Casinopolis, and the sunlight has suddenly changed, and you can see it in the windows through the rooftop of the train station. And once you get outside, you can just like see this beautiful vista. And it's such a just comforting thing. And there's a girl standing on the beach there just talking about big city vibes. And, you know, the city doesn't feel that big when you play something like Grand Theft Auto or Super Mario Odyssey. You know, there's just tons of, I know that's also not a great sandbox example, Mario Odyssey, but it is one that's bigger than Station Square. Sega has proven already that if they stick to the core elements of Sonic, you know, like they've done with Mania, it can work. If you give the series to the right hands. Look at Sonic Mania. Look at how it cherishes the past Sonic 2D games, but it also evolves them, and it's done something different with them at the same time. I think that's one thing that I love about Sonic Adventure is the fact that, yes, it came out in the era of 3D games, and they tried to do something heavily different, but they still borrowed a lot from what made a Sonic game a Sonic game. There's crazy loop-de-loops that can throw you off the rails if you're not careful or if you don't jump right. In certain levels, when you play as Sonic, you have tails following you around, and it just feels like the days of old on the Genesis. I even noticed in the wind level, which I'm blanking on the name so hard, but there are these springs that you can jump on to bounce up into higher parts of the stage. And they sound so close to jumping on a mushroom in Mushroom Hill Zone in Sonic & Knuckles. And I think a lot of the problem with some of the newer Sonic games, and I haven't played all of them, so I can't judge them all, but is that it feels like they've started to lose the focus of what Sonic is and what the world is all about. You know, you look at something like Sonic Adventure 2, I love that game to death, but it still has its faults and ways. I wish it had an open world versus just a map. The Chow system is way better. And if they make a new Sonic Adventure inspired game, they have to bring the Chows back, because that will give so much more reason to farming for EXP. And look at that, that's a great example. There already was still EXP farming in other games, you were just using it for your Chow babies. When you were playing levels, you were collecting the weird crystals, and you were collecting animals so that way you could enhance your Chows. Maybe Sonic Rangers or Zap or whatever is going to use some of its XP system for a Chow. Maybe you'll have a Chow that roams around with you that can help you battle. Who knows? I don't know. I'm so excited for this now though. Just, oh gosh, and it's all just rumors. This is just all in my head now. There's just so much that Sonic Team can do with an open world Sonic game. And I know a lot of people look at it, they say open world Sonic, that just sounds like Breath of the Wild. There's Horizon's doing it. Everyone's making an open world game now. Yes, I mean, sure, so what? But they're just trying to make their games bigger. Just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean it can't work. And we've already seen influences like that in Sonic Adventure. So why not try it again, Sega? Let's see what happens. If it sucks, we still have this. Feel free to let us know in the comments down below what you actually want from a brand new 3D Sonic game. Do you want it to be open world? Do you want it to actually be Sonic Adventure 3? Do you want him to do something brand new? Do you want him to bring back Shadow the Hedgehog? Do you want to see Shadow the Hedgehog 2? My brother Alex loved that game as a kid, but I think it was simply for the fact that they gave his favorite hedgehog guns. Let us know all your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, then why don't you go ahead and light speed dash into that subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm Zion from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.